places to go seem to lead to you. I don't even really think you know that I'm obsessed with the thought of you. I've been thinking about all the ways to get your attention, but I'm playing it safe. I've been dreaming of all the ways to make you mine, but I think it's too late. Wanna take you away, I wanna give you a night to remember, night to remember. If it takes you away, just remember the nights are forever, nights are forever. I've been thinking about it, you've been dying without it. Wanna take you away, but I know tonight's are forever, nights are forever. When I saw your starlit eyes, I locked inside, you're branded in my mind. I need you to feel the same, to feed the flames that burn in your name. If I could get you alone, I know we lose control and take it too far. I just wanna figure out your body and soul while you tremble and shake. Wanna take you away, I wanna give you a night to remember, night to remember. If it takes you away, just remember the nights are forever, nights are forever. I've been thinking about it, you've been dying without it. Wanna take you away, but I know tonight's are forever, nights are forever. Tonight's not forever. Tonight's not forever. Oh, yes, it was. Wanna take you away, wanna give you a night to remember, night to remember. If it takes you away, just remember the nights are forever, nights are forever. I've been thinking about it, you've been dying without it. Wanna take you away, but I know tonight's not forever, nights not forever. Wanna take you away, I wanna give you a night to remember, night to remember. If it takes you away, just remember the nights are forever, nights are forever. I've been thinking about it, you've been dying without it. Wanna take you away, but I know tonight's are forever, nights are forever.
What is going on? How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for joining us. Already a lot of people getting in here and talking. If you are listed as Facebook user, if you log back out and then log back in, and there's a box you check that says allow Facebook to use or allow StreamYard to use my name, just check the box. Most people don't see it. I try to remind everybody. If not, you'll just pop up as Facebook user. And I go over here and I check and see who is saying that. And that is Helena. Hi. So Cindy's in here. You had a comment about Love Max and the band. That was from Cindy Herman. Was wondering about the new album and everything. We'll get to that. All right. So these guys are on the rise. If you have been paying attention, even just a little bit of attention, these guys' name is everywhere. If you have to be living under a rock if you have not heard of Lost Hearts. I mean, it's only been a couple months that these guys have been together, and they're already got this buzz about them, and it's reaching everywhere. And even Mr. Eddie Trunk, who has been accused of not giving enough love to new and upcoming bands, he's behind these guys. That's how much they're getting noticed. Eddie Trunk, Eddie, he's okay. B-Rock, I'm the shit. Okay. When I notice something, then it's a thing. Eddie Trunk wants to be me. Just saying. Okay, stop laughing. But anyway, I've got Victor. I had Victor lined up. And he's like, you mind if I bring Max? I'm like, hell no, bring Max. Let's, I've not met Max. It's the first time I've met him. And great guy, great band. So I'm looking forward just as much as you guys are to talking to him. So let's get him in here and say hi. Max and Victor.
What up?
What is going on, guys? How is everything going?
Going good. We're hanging out in North Carolina right now.
North Carolina.
Yep.
Well, you were, Victor, I got to say this right off the rip. I was at work, I think it was Tuesday, maybe. And it was in the morning. It was a nice morning. I was just walking around and I'm like, I got to get a hold of Victor because he wanted to go to Carowinds this year and he loves going to Carowinds. I got to get to Carowinds. And, one of these days we're going to hook up and finally get to Carowinds. Sure enough, later on that afternoon, Victor's at Carowinds.
That's it.
Every year, I gotta go at least once.
At least one. I mean, you're like me. You're a coaster enthusiast. You love all that.
I
shit.
travel. I mean, that's my favorite people say, "Oh, you're a musician. You're always traveling." I'm like, yeah, I just do it for the roller coasters.
Right. Roller coasters.
There's
nothing better than roller coasters.
Just rock and roll.
Rock and roll. And they are rock and roll. And then they have the one at Disney. That's the Aerosmith rock and roll.
Yeah, both.
That's true.
That one's cool too. I like that one. Okay, Jim Hamby says hi. Everybody saying hi. So I'm trying to get there saying hi. Helena. Hi, Helena.
Hi.
All right. So, like I said, welcome. Victor and Max, how long have you guys actually known each other? I know Victor is from Brazil. So, how'd you guys hook up? How'd you guys meet? Tell us.
What do we do?
You do it.
Okay, so the thing was, I was playing for this band that you know well called Native Sons.
Yes.
And I knew of Max because of some mutual friends and the other bands that we're in and all that stuff. So I knew of him, but I never met him. And we were playing with Native Sons. We were playing that Monsters on a Mountain festival. I don't remember the year, 2021.
Something like that. I think it
Bro,
was 2021.
like it was pretty cool and everything. So a week before that show, our second guitar player had a problem and left the band, like hanging. We had no second guitar player, and we had to go on like a important show for the band. And we're like, oh my god, man, what are we gonna do? Like, who's gonna learn all these original songs in the week and come play? And I was like, well, what about that Max guy that everybody talks about it? So I called a friend, got his number, and then I called him. I was like, hey, man, so we have this show coming up in Native Sons, blah, blah, blah. We're opening for Vince. So it'll be cool. And he's like, I remember what he said. He called me. He answered the call. He's like, okay, give me 1 minute. And then in 1 minute, he called me back. He's like, come down, let's do it. So that's how we met. Like, he showed up to rehearse. We actually met one day before the show. He showed up to rehearse with us right before. And that's how we met him. We clicked like right out of the bat. We're like,
right.
Cool.
And you guys, I've seen Max on Facebook and I've met you in person, and you guys seem to be kind of the same person. I mean, you guys really have identical personalities. You guys both have great fucking hair, so I don't understand how you could live with each other.
Well, I think we're becoming each other little by little, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
not much else we're focused on. I feel like, you know what I mean. It's like living the same life pretty much, and that's the way it feels when you're in a band. A lot of times, is you're living kind of the same life, but especially when you live together, definitely. And we were already friends before that. So.
Yeah,
right.
It's just. We know some bands that like fight all the time and all that.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, we don't agree on everything that Lost Hearts does. We definitely don't. But it's just like we have the same goal and we try to be, as you say, like cool with everybody and always in a good mood. Like we're always cool. And that's the thing that can kind of keep us as friends and everything. We're always in a good like positive mood, and that's our main thing.
And that's one thing I've noticed about you. Anytime I'm around you, you are very positive, very happy. Just and that's you know, and you say these.
I'm gonna be sad.
Right. I mean, you gotta be happy. You're doing what you love. You know, it's just the way it is. Now, I gotta admit, when I heard Lost Hearts was coming out, and that was around February ish, and I know you, Victor, and there was a show I did probably a couple years back. And Victor was in every band that I had on the bill, and it was not on purpose. It was by accident. I liked all these bands. I just realized after I booked them all, I'm like, Victor, do you realize you're playing in every fucking band? And he's like, I got this. You know, so when I heard of Lost Hearts, I'm like, how is he going to do this too? And I knew something was going to give. So when you left Native Sons, it did not surprise me. I mean, you have to take your focus. I know you do, Max. You do 84, the Van Halen tribute. Victor, you do Excitable, the Def Leppard tribute, both based in Atlanta. And them are good gigs. They're paying gigs. You got to stay with them. But to have like 2, 3, 4 original bands, three are going to suffer and one's not. And so you kind of got to focus. So I'm glad, you know, you guys are focusing on one right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough being a musician because, I mean, you got to pay your bills, you know,
right?
Got to make money. So, I had to give up on the other stuff, you know, on some other bands. The only things I'm doing now is this and Excitable, and then
right.
We do fill-ins and hire guns for other people when we can.
That's the thing. It's to the point now where it's like, even if we commit to stuff, we're already overcommitting because it's just we got so much going on between, you know, Lost Hearts and, like we said, doing 84 and Excitable, and it's just like it's so hard to manage anybody's schedule. You know what I mean?
Right. You add another band or another band in the mix, and that's damn near impossible.
We would just be wasting their time.
It was crazy. I mean, It's been crazy for us because we like to say yes to all the stuff if we can. We're looking at the calendar. We're like, we can do this. We can play this show, fill in for some friends, or do this or do that. And lately, we just made a deal. I was like, hey, from now on, unless it's like, all right, something really good for us, we're not going to do it anymore. It's just crazy. We had to fill in for some friends and do some stuff lately. It's been like chaotic to manage all this with Lost Hearts and 184.
Right. And from a fan's perspective, like me, you know, once you get a guy in 5 different bands, you know, you get confused. You get confused on which are they going to focus on? What are they going to put all their time and energy in? Which one should I absolutely follow and which one's going to fall by? Because there's always going to be 1 or 2 that fall off and they end up leaving. And it's like, so like from a fan's perspective, we want, you know, we don't mind that we love seeing, and we understand nowadays most people are in a tribute, and not just a tribute. Excitable and 84 are top-notch tributes. They're not just some lame tribute out of Pocahontas fucking Wisconsin. I mean, they're kick-ass tributes. So to have that, you know, to pay the bills, because like you said, you have to pay the bills. And until Lost Hearts gets rolling, and you've got to fund Lost Hearts until it gets rolling. So you got to do your thing.
You gotta do your thing.
It is.
You really gotta do your thing. I mean, as far as I go, like I was in 84 before I was, you know, obviously in Lost Hearts, but I've been in 84 since I was like, I don't know, 17 years old, 16, 17. I'm 20 now, but man.
You're how old?
20.
20. God damn. Must be nice. Miss that.
Yes, yeah. It's fun.
Oh,
I already feel like an old man, honestly.
Max has an old man vibe, man. I'll tell you that much.
Really? Who is the old man in the group? Because you're all young as frig.
Well, but I'm 25, and Max feels like the older brother sometimes. He's like old man vibes, you know.
Yeah.
Right. He's got to keep you all kids in line.
Exactly.
I mean,
Somebody has to.
Yeah.
exactly. Now, how did Lost Hearts come about? I mean, you guys like Victor, you were in Native Sons. Max, you were doing other things. You guys basically met in 2021. Really, that's when you filled in for Native. You had all this stuff going on, Victor, and everything. How did it come about that, hey, let's do Lost Hearts?
Well, I was living with Max in Nashville. I still live with Max, but we were living together, and we were just like jamming, just me and him, just like, oh, let's write a song. Just not really focused on like, oh, let's make a band or anything like that. It was more like hanging out, writing stuff and riffs and lyrics and stuff. And then I told Max, I was like, man, JT's a really good producer. He produces all the Native Son stuff. Maybe it'd be cool if we bring him over to hang out and maybe write some songs. But like, we didn't have a really idea. No, not
Right.
at all. Like, we were still Native Sons because this was back in December.
Yeah.
So it was like way before we even had the idea of doing anything. It was just us jamming because we had like a week off or something.
December of last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then JT
Wow.
came over and we started working on stuff and it started, clicking. And they were like, well, maybe we might as well do something with this, right? And then
Right?
that's why when songs like Hate Yourself came and all like some other ideas and some other stuff, and we're like, well, let's try. So it was very natural to me. It was not like, let's make a band. It was more like, oh, we have some good songs and stuff where we can do,
Right. You weren't forcing the issue. It wasn't pressure. It wasn't like, hey, we want a band. Let's do this. You guys were all laid back and just chilling.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Honestly, it was not forced at all. That's how Lost Hearts got together. And then, of course, we got to the point where we're like, all right, are we going to make a band? Yes. And then we sit down and really, okay, we need a logo, we need a name, we need
Drummer.
we need a drummer.
Drummer.
Took us a minute, trust
Took us
me.
a minute to find
Lost
a drummer.
Hearts would have been out like at least probably a month early if it wasn't for the drummer problem. We're like tried a couple different drummers and
that was our biggest problem. Honestly, was finding a drummer. It's hard.
So how did you find I've read this, I know, or I got told. But how did you find your drummer?
Instagram.
I love it. It's so great.
Guitar player.
Yeah. He's also a guitar player too. And
so pretty much we have 4 guitar players in a band.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He's a guitar player too?
Yeah.
But he's a good drummer.
But he's a great drummer.
Yeah, he's a pretty good drummer. I mean, right. So that leads me, okay. So there's what? Right now, we'll just go with there's 3 guitar players. So, and I did notice that, certain videos, one video, or certain pictures, I should say, not videos. I don't think, I haven't really paid attention to the video to see if it's in the videos. But certain pictures, I see Victor with a bass in his hand. Then other pictures, I see JT playing bass. So what is it? If one of you guys screws up, Max says, okay, you're the bass player. You take Max's Fritos one day. And it's okay, you stole my fucking Fritos. You're on bass tonight.
What? That's what it is. It's like, hey.
Yeah, flip a coin.
Yeah, you're
flip a coin.
In the rehearsal, go play bass.
Yeah.
Right. But that, it's that is a great thing to have that many guitar players, really. Then y'all are writing at you can't write with a bass, I don't think. But, you got JT maybe off somewhere else, and he's got a guitar playing, writing, and then you all got a jam. I can only imagine what the solo is like at one of your shows. Just get all 3 of you shredders up there and just go to fucking town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the bass thing, because we same thing, we're writing songs and we all play guitar, and of course somebody plays the bass just to record and all that, but we got to the point that we're like, okay, what are you going to do live? And me and JT agreed on split the bass 50-50.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's fun, man. Honestly, at the beginning I was kind of like, what happens? But I'm actually enjoying playing both because it's like you're playing two shows. So it's
Right.
like you're jamming, you spend your energy on the bass, and then you grab the guitar, and it's a different animal. So you're like, all right, let's go.
Right.
Like you just started again. So I think we're both having a good time, and it's good to be on different sides of the stage and all that.
That's cool. I mean, it's really cool.
Something
what?
different. That's really something unique, I guess.
Right, and you and JT do have different styles. I mean, and as far as JT goes, he's not here, but man, that boy is coming out of his shell.
Yes, he.
I mean, when I
Yes,
first
he
met
is.
him a couple years ago, he was very shy, he didn't talk a lot. Now he's like,
Well,
he's
give him a chance,
Don't give him a chance.
You've been around me and Max, like we talk a lot.
Yeah.
a lot.
And I was like, JT, can't be the quiet man. Come on.
No,
Yeah.
you gotta, and he's coming out of his shell. He's really good. Last time I think I've seen him on the cruise, and I seen him on the cruise, and he was just great talking.
Yeah. But he's the quiet genius. He's the smart man of the band.
He is smart.
He is smart. I will give you that. Producing and stuff like that. He's a great addition. I mean, you all are talented. I mean, it's just amazing how much talent is in this band. This band can go anywhere in my book. And you've released 3 songs. You've released Hate Yourself was first, Night to Remember was second, the one we just heard, and then Maybe I'd Want You was just released a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's not just one same sounding song. It is different songs. Like Maybe I'd Want You has more of a punky to it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Night to Remember is more of like a anthem kind of thing, every audience sing along kind of thing, and Hate Yourself is a good rock killer song. So it's all tied in, but it's got different sounds and different vibes, which is very cool. And that kind of brings me to like who your influences are. Like Max, who are your influences, and then Victor, who are yours? I want to see where you guys stand to bring this.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, there's everything classic rock. I mean, anything rock from, I mean, 60s and even like whatever up until today, really. I like all kinds of rock from every era. I mean, obviously, the bands I grew up with was like GNR, Zeppelin, but also like NXS and Stone Temple Pilots and, bands like that. And, my parents kind of listened to everything. So there was even like Cat Stevens. So I listened to a lot of stuff. It's hard for me to say. I mean, I think that my main kind of influence as a frontman would be probably Michael Hutchins from NXS.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of that kind of influence in there.
He's a great frontman.
Yeah, he's a very good frontman. And as far as other bands influenced by, it's just hard to say. Like when you sit down and look at it.
If you really think about the way, how you guys put the songs together.
Yeah.
Because people, I mean, a lot of bands like to go out there and say, "Oh, it was casual." We sat down, DT played the riff, and it was magic.
Not always the case.
Not always the case.
No, we knew what we wanted to do. Like we knew, we didn't have a band except Clean Mind, but we knew what we wanted to do. We wanted to have like those big choruses and like simple, straight. We don't need a super shredded guitar solo yet, because I think bands. Sometimes they just want to do what they want to do. They don't care about the market or you gotta aim for a crowd. And I'll be lying if we're not. We didn't sit down and say, hey, we want to do a little rock. We gotta be pop. We gotta be well produced and modern, like good drum sounds and all like big. So we had a whole idea north of what we wanted to go with the band. And same thing you said. Every song sounds different. Same thing. We're like, okay, let's be different because we don't know where we want to go. To be honest, people say, "Oh, right, next for the band." I mean, we're right. we're working. We were playing shows and writing songs and releasing more stuff, videos and everything. But we don't really know what we're doing. Like, oh, I have my 10-year plan. I don't.
No,
Yeah,
no, 10-day plan.
10-day plan
That's
exactly.
what it is, like-
Who
But
knows?
yeah, I mean, we definitely did. I remember because me and Victor met, and the thing we always talked about is like, man, these new bands, like the song is just sometimes not there. You know what I mean? It's like there's these, not all newer bands, of course. There's a lot of newer bands I love, and there's a lot of older bands. I'm not singling out newer bands that do this, but it's like, you know, a lot of times what bugs us, and we're musicians, like it's cool, like, oh, start shredding or whatever. But if the song's not there, I just really don't care. And the majority of people just really don't care. And so at least our goal was like to try to not be like, oh, we need to be in our ego and try to
Right.
play some shred solo. Because we can shred, but it's like,
Sometimes
it's
it doesn't
not.
need to be there.
Yeah, and it's like there's not a lot of new ground to cover. You know what I mean? Like we've had
Right.
everybody in the game from Van Halen to Yngwie to everybody. It's like, what are you gonna do that's better than that? Sometimes I don't know. It's like, and not to say you shouldn't explore that.
Right.
But we just chose, I think, to focus more on this what we can songwrite. You know what I mean? And focus on that and what we want our vibe to be. You know?
Right. And you know what? You'll go a lot farther in my book if you don't come out of the gate, okay, we're just going to shred and just play drum, just in your face, blah, 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 and just throw songs together. Hey, so far the three I've heard are well written, well done, not overdone, and fit. I mean, they're good songs. I listen to a song, I give you about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
If you don't have me in that 30 seconds, some songs only take 5 seconds and you're like done because you know what to expect or they're just not my thing. But if I give you 30 seconds and we go past that, then I'll look like I get songs sent to me all the time and guys ask me, what do you think of it? And sometimes I'll be like, man, the solo is too over the top for the song, because they want it to be, and then they tame it down. They're like, "Hey, what do you think of that?" Then it fits, and they're like, "I thought maybe, but I didn't know." And you have to fit the song. You can't just come out and shred and then go back. But what you guys are doing, songwriting, establishing yourself as musicians first, then everything else can come later on down the road. You could do everything, but right now you're establishing yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, our songs have solos. It's not like they don't.
Oh yeah. Oh, easy.
They're just not like you don't need to play a million notes an hour, and
Right.
sometimes it's better that way. I mean, Van Halen.
Right.
If you listen, he's one of my favorites, and of course Max too. They didn't need more than 20 seconds. It was like 20 seconds
No.
in and out, and sometimes not even shredding, but it was like
Minute
amazing.
long solos.
It's like, yeah.
Ridiculous sometimes.
Because people, again, that ego thing. When in this band, we're like, we really don't have an ego. Like, oh, if it's not that way, I'm not recording. This.
Yeah.
We're very open to change and move this stuff all of the time. Like all these songs
Right.
we released, we had like demo versions that sound so much different. We try different stuff, and because we don't have like nobody needs to like, oh, you want to play the solo? I don't care. Like we don't don't really care about that. It's more about the song. And more about
I get a break. You want to play the solo? Step
Right.
out.
I mean,
Relax.
honestly, we really have no problem with that because but that's what happens with other bands. Like, okay, you can play a million notes an hour.
But why?
We can do it too, but sometimes it
Right.
just ruins a good song,
And I like it. And what you guys, and believe me, when you heard three guitar players were in the band, you're like, this is going to be shred fest.
Yeah.
But it was, and I was hoping it wasn't, man, because I was like, man, there's got to be some quality to this because I know these guys. I know you and JT. I never met Max, but that's changing, and the drummer. But I'm like, I know these guys, and these guys could do something really good here. They're young enough. They're hungry enough. They're talented enough. And from what I hear, this Max guy, he's just the perfect fit too. So, and when I heard the songs, I was pleasantly surprised. I'm like, these guys are really doing it well.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. We're gonna have our time to shreds.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, you will.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming, baby.
Don't get me wrong. We
I
like
think the
to
Oh.
latest
down
song,
and go.
yeah, the latest song has been probably the most shred.
Yeah.
Out of any of them.
Really?
But we'll get there eventually. I mean,
Yeah.
we talked about that. If "Hate Yourself," whatever one of those songs got #1, and we've been out for 10 years going good, it's gonna be the one day that we're like, you know what, we're doing a 5-minute to 12-minute instrumental,
Yeah.
full shred the whole time, man.
Right.
Story. Because
Yeah.
then you have your fan base and you can try something new.
True.
Right. Exactly. Now, I've never heard of you. Never met you. We're at M3 or somewhere, maybe on the Monsters Rock Cruise or somewhere. And I run into you guys and I'm like, hey, and you're like, hey, we got this band. And you tell me about it, and I tell you, you know what, new bands, I like my Firehouse, my, Icon. I like them old 80s bands. How do I want you to convince me right now to listen to your band? How would you go about telling some old hippie dude that is stuck on, there's no good new music out there? Tell me, how are you going to get me to listen to your band? Tell
Got anything?
me.
Man,
Got anything?
well, I'm thinking. I was just thinking about what I said, but be like, hey, have you been 20 before? Yes. Remember when you heard that one Van Halen song? That's what we try to make you feel again, And
Yep.
it's a different style, but I mean, give it a chance. I mean, the old people really like the old, and I mean in a bad way. The older rock, they look at us a little different. I feel because we have the hair. A lot of those young rock bands, they don't have the hair. They have the short hair. They look kind of nerdy.
Right.
And no head.
Guitar up
The
here.
guitar up here, no headstock. The guitar with no headstock. I'm like, hey, come on,
Right.
maybe that. Give me a Les Paul. So I think we still
We have the older rock
We
and
have
roll
the older
energy.
rock and roll energy. So and those people kind of respect us. I mean, at least at the first impression,
Yeah.
because of that. They'd be like, "You guys look like some '80s rockers," and we're like, "Well, we're not '80s rockers, but here's our band. Give it a try."
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And
And
it's like anytime we're talking about that, I think people do kind of respect us because we know our stuff about the old music. You know what I mean? Like we know all about all of these bands. You know what I mean? But I think that here's the thing with the modern rock is like, as far as the bands go, I don't think it's a problem that like bands aren't there. I think it's the problem is the industry and like the lack of just major like rock music from the 1950s up until like the 1990s, early 2000s has always had just like major financial backing through the record industry. And then one day they just decided like, okay, we're done with that. That's over.
Right.
And I think it's coming back, but I think it was just kind of a lull, at least hopefully.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, I think
Hopefully it's
that.
coming back.
hopefully.
But we see it. We see it coming back.
What was I listening
We
to?
see
I
it.
listened to Kiss in 1973, like before they got signed. I was listening to a bootleg, and I was like, "This is rough, dude." But that's the thing, like, bands take time, and sometimes like a label or a manager or whatever has to come in and kind of help develop a band. Like a lot of times, people think like all these bands like just sounded like they do on the album from the first time.
No.
No, like it's a lot of times it not only took a lot of work on the band's part, but a lot of work on the label's part or anybody. You know what I mean? Like it sometimes takes a team to get a band or an artist where, you see them when they're on TV. And that's the thing I think people miss
Yeah,
sometimes.
I think the money's somewhere else now. The money's
Yeah,
on
the
the
money's
rap
on
and on the
the
pop.
rap and the pop guys.
Right.
And there's still a market for rock and roll, but it's harder to beat that one band that really like the Grave and Fleet that really found their niche right in that middle, and they're like, boom, they hit it good.
Yeah.
Right.
They were the last. A lot of the last is now we have Måneskin, which is already bigger than Grave and Fleet, but. Every once in a while, there's that one band that comes out there, and I feel like this is happening more often from 5 years to now. So, and people are really more open to listen to some rock and roll. I remember 8 years ago, I was in Brazil, college and high school and stuff, it was like nobody was really interested
Nobody.
in listening to
Nobody.
nobody. And now
Yeah.
there is like all those things, the Stranger Things, and then Grave and Fleet. Like there's
The
the
Dirt.
the Dirt. Like there's a bunch of different, directions that this is coming from, but the rock and roll is coming back. Even if you listen to some pop albums, if you listen to whatever Miley Cyrus, whatever, it's more rock than it used to be. Everything
Right.
now has guitars and it's going good.
Right, and
It's
there's a
rock production.
they keep, like you said, they keep doing these things like the Dirt, and it's stuff like that. The Stranger Things, Cobra Kai brings that music back. Peacemaker. Now they're doing. I just read it the other day, today. I Want to Rock, the '80s Metal Dream, Skid Row, Winger, Twisted Sister, Vixen members. It's going to be on Paramount Plus. It premieres. I think it's a 3-part docu series
Oh,
that's going to premiere on Paramount Plus on July 18th. So it's like these docu series and stuff like that wouldn't be happening if there wasn't if the industry or the people in power or whatever didn't see something. Okay, something's going on, and there's so many bands out there that need to get noticed that have that sound, like Lost Hearts. They got a great sound, great rock to them. They need that little push, and stuff like this gets people interested and digging.
That's true.
Well, it's just hard nowadays, man. There's so many people on the internet and all those like Instagram, TikToks, and there's a million bands out there trying to break it. So,
Dude, and 95% of them suck.
That's true.
I'll say it. And, you get sick. Dude, I do the radio station and all that, and dude, I'm always trying to find new music. I get sick of clicking sometimes, but I have to. And the average person isn't going to do it anymore because they're disappointed all the time. But then there comes that time where you click and you hear like a Lost Hearts and say, holy shit, there's a good one out there. But it takes 20, 30 clicks of other crap to get there because everybody could do anything on the computer anymore.
exactly.
So,
Well, I see we're just with that 95%, but I'm glad.
no, I'm pretty sure you're with the 5%.
Because, dude, it is the technology came for the good. I mean, now anybody can have a computer and write a song and produce a song. Anybody can open an iPad and produce a song if they want to.
Right. Then you got apps to do that
more
now.
stuff out, and that's good to give a voice to anybody. Give a chance for somebody that wrote a song on an iPad and produce it with a fake beat to be famous as much as a guy from a record label. But at the same time, you allow the whole planet to do
Right.
that. So, of course,
Right.
back in the day, if you don't have money to do an album, you're not going to do an album. If you don't have a label or something, you're not going to play it on the radio. So less people had the chance. Nowadays, everybody have the chance, which means more people are going to be on there doing it. So you have to hear the good ones they're going to break, and you're going to hit the bad ones they're not.
Bad ones. And there's so many bad ones. It sucks. You don't want to say 95% of it sucks, but you got to be honest. 95% of it sucks because everybody thinks they can do it now. And, it hurts the industry. Really, it hurts the whole music scene, hurts everybody by being overpopulated with, can't really say garbage because I'll get hate mail, but there's so much garbage out there that, it's like, come on. But then, and it makes it harder for the bands that are doing it and have the talent like you guys. Like there's many out there that have good talent that are getting not the recognition because of the fact that they're getting swamped down by everything that's piled on out there.
People just don't put effort on writing this stuff anymore, I guess. Honestly.
No, and that's the truth too.
Because there's a band like, we just put a band together, and then they put a whole album in like a month, and I look at it around and I'm like, bro, how they did it is like, I mean, and of course the album sucks. I mean, people
Right.
don't put time and stuff on their stuff anymore, man. We got those singles and we go crazy on them because we listen and
Yeah.
like, change this, change that, and we work with Johnny, which is a great producer and help us a lot with that. But we go crazy on our songs. Like we're never happy. I mean, honestly, yesterday and the release were kind of like every time you listen, like, oh, maybe I should have changed that. I'd make it better. So we're never happy, and people don't really know how much of a work is to really go there and do everything the right way. You know, like
Well, and for every song we release, there's another like 5 that are just like kind of chilling
yeah,
there, like
there because I mean,
that are not obviously not as good, but ones that we've worked on, and I mean, 30 phone ideas in that time period,
Right.
all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like we have a lot of ideas, but it's like usually one just like, okay, this is obviously better than the rest.
Right. And if they sit there for a little bit, like wine, it gets, you might a year down the road pull it and say, okay, it works here. And then bam, it comes to life. These guys putting out, like you said, putting out a band in 2 weeks, they're not putting their heart and soul into songs. They're just throwing it to the wall and seeing if it sticks.
Yep.
Yeah, no, and then they don't do well because their songs either are like sound like somebody else, like too much, or not creative. Or it's nothing like okay, listen to a band is like okay, it's the same AC/DC riff that every band's been playing for 30 years, and that's true. People do that. It's like, bro, where do you think you're going with this?
What is this accomplishing?
Yeah, and then people come and post like, oh, if I lived in 1985, oh, if my band would be successful. I'm like, bro,
you would. Then you'd be buried by even more bands.
That's very true.
You're pretty zero from writing your songs and really, because like people you gotta be, self-critiquing yourself, and you listen, you're like, if that song popped out on my Spotify, would I listen to it or would I skip it?
No. And half the time it's no.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And people are like, oh no, that's my art, and then it becomes an ego thing. So it's true. I mean, there's a lot of bad songs out there that we listen to, like, and people send it to us, and you go like, and we're always on, bro. I think it's just more of the same, or
right.
And people get mad sometimes. It's like, well,
why'd you send it?
Yeah, why you ask you? I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll first one, even with our songs, if Max comes with something, and even some of those recordings, the ones that are out there, like the demo came out, and I can remember first time I listened, I was like, yeah, I don't know about that chorus, man. And then now I love it. It grew on me. So you gotta be open to criticism.
Right.
And
you have to, and I get that from people. I got a few people that send me stuff to get my input because they know I'm not going to sugarcoat. If I don't like something, I'm going to tell you I don't like it. Yes. Or if I think this doesn't work, but I'll give them the feedback because I'm not a yes man. I'm not, good rock. Believe me, a lot of times I get it. It's like, man, that's fantastic because you guys are some creative people. I mean, some musicians that I know are super creative, and it blows my mind on what they send me. But then there's others that it's like, dude, the solo don't fit, or and all they do. And then there's others that send me stuff and I don't even respond because you don't want to hear what I got to say.
Yeah, those, man.
Yeah, there's those that that they're gonna hurt him, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want to hurt people's feelings. Yeah. It's better when it comes from somebody you don't know. They're just emailing the station and it's like, no. It's not my station. It's you guys have a reputation that precedes you, with being in so many different bands, and that you are professional. So if you put out anything that wasn't good, people are going, wait a minute, what happened to these guys? So you guys, like you said, you guys think about it. You ponder it. You're not just throwing it out there. Hey, we got a song. Let's go. You're taking a couple months to go. Okay, this one, that one, and that's what you got to do. And people don't realize you have to do that.
Yeah, and people don't. Like you said, I listen to a song for 30 seconds. If it's not good, I'm done.
I'm done.
And then, and even with us, imagine if the first song sucked. The very first song was bad. You would not even give a chance to the second one. So
no.
Right.
Give me a good one. Put quality music out there. Don't just. If more bands would do that instead of just saying, okay, I got this band started in 2 weeks and we got a full album out and it's going to be out tomorrow. dude, you didn't put any fucking time into it. It can't be good. I'm not even going to try and check it out. If you are Dio, okay, you can do that. I mean, I'm sure Dio could just off the top of his head blow our minds. But, you're not Dio. Just
Yo,
Yeah, man.
take your time. Let it gel.
Yeah.
Let it
Even
ferment.
those guys had a lot of people around them all the time writing
that's
stuff.
the thing.
Right.
Even the gods.
That's the thing.
Yes. They had people that they bounced their ideas off of. They had people.
Man, Dio, Ozzy, all these guys. I
They
mean,
had people.
Yo,
They had their people. And they weren't yes men. They were people that would tell them like it is. And that's why the music is so good, because it was a collaborative effort. Randy Rhoads with Ozzy. Randy Rhoads made Ozzy so much better.
I agree.
I totally agree with that. It's just no doubt about it. Now, all right, we're done.
pretty much
Picking
saying
up.
Tony Iommi's not a good guitar player. That's what you. He's gonna be on Loudwire tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's that?
You hating on Tony Iommi? That's it.
I like Tony Iommi. I mean, he's good, but Randy
I
Rhoads
know.
is God, dude. Tony created his own style, and I watched that thing. I never really knew it back in the day, but then you watch like these behind the musics, and I love them things where you watch, the bands and how Tony got his fingers chopped off, and he thought he'd never play again. Then just by not having them rounded like that and flat now, created a different bass or guitar tone. And I was like, wow, that is like cool. I wonder how many kids are out there going, man, I just chopped my fingers off. Now it'll sound great. So that's not the thing. But I thought that, he could have just given up and said, I can't do this. But, and like Rick Allen lost his arm, he could have given up and said no. But the great ones persevere, keep going, and find a new way and change the landscape, change how things are done.
Oh yeah, those two really changed the game. I mean,
Yeah. Tony Iommi changed the game when he Black Sabbath really did change the way music was looked at. Hard rock was
absolutely.
No question.
no question. It's just the way it is. Now, back to Lost Hearts, because that's why you're here. We get off topic. I love these things. I love talking to people. Now, question earlier from one of the somebody in here, Herman Hernandez, asked, album anytime soon?
That's a good question.
You
So
guys,
yeah, here's the deal on that is like pretty much. I mean, we will have a collection, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Like, but as far as it goes right now, like the reason that we release singles is because of just the way music is nowadays. You know what I mean? And the thing
I
is,
agree.
yeah, like I mean, like we said, people put hard work onto an album. Like with the amount of work we're putting into these songs, you know what I mean? We would have a great album, I think. But it's like at the moment as a new band, it's hard to take people who have never heard you and say, hey, sit down and listen to an album. You know what I mean?
Or buy this.
Yeah, and buy this. And we have people who would do it, and we have a
Right.
lot of people ask us about an album, which is pretty wild to me. And I appreciate that there's people who would sit down and listen to a whole album from us, because I'm the same way. Like I love listening to albums, but as it is right now with people's attention spans, we're moving forward, just kind of doing singles, and of course there will be an album down the road. But
Oh, right.
Eventually, with a couple of singles, we'll put
yeah,
it together,
yeah,
you know?
put it on an EP or whatever,
Right.
And,
Have a collection, have them all in one place.
yeah,
And and then the way, I've talked to other people about this, and that's the way now. I mean, yeah, you could put out a CD. That's great. If you want to, go ahead. If you don't want to, you just release a single every couple months. You stay relevant. You stay. You release a song, then the whole CD, then you release another single. Well, people have already heard it. Okay. Now, if you release a single, a month or two later, like you guys released one in March, April, June, you've stayed relevant from March to June now and into July because you're giving new stuff. There's no album out there yet. People have not heard. Okay, we released the album in April. Okay, they've already heard the album. Now there's really no traction. Now you have to go out on tour. Now you have to do dates. You got to be live, and that's hard to do right now too. So the thing to do is single, 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 and just stay relevant and stay comfortable to yourself. If you're good with just releasing singles, that's fine.
Yeah. Oh,
I like it.
That's definitely the way we're going. So we can always have something fresh and new to
Yeah.
people to really listen to and give a chance for other people to discover us too. I mean, it's always good to really have something fresh and new, a new video, a new,
Yeah.
It keeps us more interesting, I guess.
And I agree
Right.
with what Jim is saying right here about I miss the stories that albums could tell. I agree with you, man.
Right.
I'm 100% with you because I have vinyl at the house. Like, that's my favorite thing to sit down,
Yes.
album, and read everything, the liner notes and all that.
There's some songs
Lyrics.
different.
Yeah, and some songs like aren't singles. Some songs only really make sense on an album context. You know what I mean?
Right.
But-
And some albums tell a story. Like if Queensryche would release Mind Crime as just singles,
Yeah.
nobody would have ever got it.
No,
The Wall.
The
The Wall has to be an album.
Albums too.
Yeah, man. A lot of stuff. Sgt. Pepper, anything like
Right.
that. And we will do something like that at some point. I firmly believe that. But
At the
and
moment.
it's weird because the way the world has gone was like people forget that in the 1950s and like from the 40s and the 50s it was all singles.
Singles. 45s.
People really do albums like that. Like
Right.
people were all about the singles, man. And then somewhere in like the 60s it became more about the album.
Right.
And then now it seems like we've gone back to singles after all this time. And
Right.
of course,
Well, going back to where it started.
yeah,
It's always a circle,
it is.
It's a circle. I mean, you had all them 45s.
Yep.
And then the long player came in the 60s. I mean, it was always 45s. That's why you see so many Beatles 45s and this and that, T-Rex and all that. You got all them 45s. And 45s still stuck around during the 70s because they'd released a single and then, you'd get the 45. So they'd make the money from the 45. They'd make the money from the album when it come out. And then they'd release other singles. So they'd make more money from the singles. It was a vicious cycle. And then I have some 45s from like Rat and stuff like that, but they weren't that grand in the 80s, but they were still there.
Yeah, of course, man. And, it's cool. I like singles. And, I do definitely want to do an album. I think all of us want to do an album.
Yeah.
But it's just whenever we can make that look right logistically. Because the other thing people don't keep in mind is like, say, an album, it's like an album costs money.
Money.
And it's not about not like being able to come up with the money, but it's more of a thing of like with singles, you're really getting all of, your bang for your buck out of it because you're putting it out, you hype it up, you get people to listen to it. People are actually listening to it. It's not like people are just kind of skipping over it. You know what I mean? And so,
It's
when
easy.
we get the record deal and somebody else is paying, then we can just
Then we can
There you go.
we can
20
do our
songs album,
Jazz Odyssey album. But
Jazz Odyssey.
'Cause
Love it.
people don't have time nowadays. That's the main thing. People don't have time. They're driving from here to there. They need 2-3 songs that they want to listen to.
Right.
They have us on the playlist, driving playlist. Boom. We've been
Right.
getting a lot of like gym playlists because the songs are so like those choruses are big and everything. This has been going on a lot. So like play the gym, play whatever.
Right.
It's like it's always on a spin and he's always on people's heads.
yeah, the
Exactly.
playlist thing is one that is people miss is like playlisting on Spotify especially is like so important.
It is.
Key for artists like to get your music heard is like social media, of course, playing live and Spotify playlisting is
It's
so
a good balance between all of that.
Yeah, a good balance, because there's also bands who just like they're just on like Instagram and stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they play live. They don't really like release music that much. They just kind of do the thing on Instagram, and they might do well on there. But it's like I feel like in order to be a well-rounded band, you have to kind of attack it from all angles.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And that's absolutely right.
Area or something. You know.
Absolutely. You know, take your time with that. I mean, don't rush it. You know, and when it's rushed, it sounds rushed. Just take your time. Be as comfortable as you guys want to be, and you know, we'll be here. As long as you're releasing singles, people ain't going anywhere. They're still hungry for it, so it's all good.
Well, I
Hey,
appreciate it. It's glad to know there's some interest in an album. At least people are asking, make an album rather than hey, don't make an
Don't
album.
make an album.
Yeah,
that was the very first question. Herman got in here at 7:31. Bam, and he was like, "Great band. When's the album cut?"
Wow.
Like, yeah. Herman, he's one that goes on the Monsters Rock cruise. I met him. Have not met him face to face yet. Met him through social media. Great guy. And that was his first question. Bam. You know. So yes, there is people are looking for that nowadays, but also I'm one of the ones that are completely satisfied with singles coming out and this and that. Throw them on the radio station. They're on Spotify. Like I said, I create a playlist. Or if I play a band, say I'm playing Bon Jovi, which hardly ever happens, but say I'm playing Bon Jovi on Spotify, it gets to the end of the album, it plays artists that are similar to Bon Jovi. Now, I'm not saying you're similar. I'm just using this as a
Hey, no problem. Bon Jovi,
but right, but it will, that's how I find a lot of new bands, new okay bands. There's a lot of skips that go on, but then there's one, like say the Lost Hearts pops up. Okay, it got my attention. I go over to Spotify. Who's this? I take a screenshot. Boom. Now I have it. At the end of the day, I go back to my screenshots and go dive more into these bands because I love that Spotify does the suggestion, kind of like YouTube has a list of suggested bands. It's a good deal.
About that is like, in order for that to happen, Spotify has to kind of like you. You know what I mean? And so the way you get them to like you, at least I think, is you put out like they say like every 6 weeks or so, boom, single, and get it, like submit it right into the playlist, and you like write a paragraph about it, and if you get in their algorithm well, it can really serve you. And yeah,
I mean, there's bands that really are out there now doing good because of Spotify playlisting.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And there's bands that I see all the time. They pop up. They pop up on that little suggestion.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
I mean, I hate that it's not the way it used to be. I would love to not have to do any of that. I would love to just like, go in there. I don't have to worry about social media, nothing. Go write an album and go release it and go on tour.
And then go on tour.
Anybody.
That'd be good. Maybe them days are coming back. Maybe you're going to bring back the heyday.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But as of now, we got to play the little Instagram and Spotify game. TikTok.
Gotta do your thing. And you guys do it well. You guys, let me tell you, social media is everything, really, especially with the younger crowd. You want to reach the younger crowd. That's where it's at. Us guys, me, you've got me. I mean, I'm not your target audience. I'm going to listen. Us old schoolers, we're going to hear you. We're going to listen. We're going to talk about you. But the future is the younger generation, your generation. So to reach them, and you guys do it just as good as Gunshine does it. There's a couple other ones that I see out there that do it. That every day or other day or 3 days, they've got something live or some kind of live thing going on or a video going on their page. They're always relevant, always staying in your face, always saying something, posting something. Instagram isn't as popular as it was. Now it's TikTok and Facebook, but more so TikTok. And you guys are doing that, and you're staying there. I was going through your page. I'm like, these guys just about every other day are nailing it. Look at us here. We're here. We're walking. The poster thing, the doing the flyer thing. I saw you guys posting about. I'm like, dude, that's old school paper in the town. Look at that, and you just finding ways to stay on Facebook and stay relevant on TikTok,
Man, trust
which
me,
is good.
as hard as to write songs.
I'm sure it is.
Sure, man.
What can we do today on TikTok or Facebook? I don't understand how you guys come up with that.
Everybody did everything, and he was like,
That's the thing, because it's like sit here and try to come up with some like weird kind of goofy thing that like, but if it feels inauthentic, then you're like, this is lame. You know what I mean? And I mean, I don't know how those people do like that. Some people, it just really seems to come natural to them.
Right?
It does not come natural to me.
No,
I don't know why. Like I like making content and stuff, but it does not come as naturally to me as just like posting stuff. I mean, but Victor knows, like if I didn't have to be on Instagram, I won't go on it for like 3 months.
Wow.
I don't like it that much, but
No,
it's necessary.
it is.
it's a necessary evil.
I don't mind it. I really.
Victor likes it.
I'm always there, always seeing and then keep him updated. But man, it is a job. It is a 24-hour
It is.
of like trying to figure it out what you're gonna do next. Cause then like talking about the shred thing, and we did a video that did really well TikTok and Instagram. It's us, me, him, and JT playing Eruption at the same time.
Yep, saw that.
And then you have a video and it has like, oh, whatever, 100K, cool, everybody comment, every positive stuff. And then we said that, was like, what are we gonna do next?
Right. Now it's over. Now it's yesterday's news.
Like the next day you gotta have one with 1 million, the next day one with 2 million. So it's like, okay.
Right. What are we going to do next? We're not done here. You think you're done. Okay, cool. I did it, but now I got to do it again. And I just can't. It's hard enough to post. I take a picture. Okay, what am I going to write about? Sometimes you hit the nail on the head. Other times you think, hey, I got something really cool. And, nobody fucking cares.
Yeah.
And then,
I heard from a guy saying the other day, and I really believe in that. It's like one day in the normal planet, it's like 5 days in the internet.
right.
It's like it's in 24 hours you have like 1 million video clips released, 1 million news, 1 million stuff like going on. So it's like too much to keep up with. And then it's like, all right, you released a cool video in a 24 hours ago. It already feels like it's been up there for a week and nobody cares anymore already.
Nobody cares anymore. You're done. It's over.
Exactly.
So the time on the internet is different than the time in the real life. It's crazy.
It is. It is. That's why when you get on the internet, you get lost and the whole day goes away. You're like, what the hell did my day go?
It is crazy.
When you get to thinking, you get an idea, you start the idea, you put it into motion. Do this, do that. Dude, it takes hours to do this 30-second little thing.
It does. It really does.
You're done. Your day's gone.
And you make it look like, I just recorded this, but it takes
first take.
First take, but it's the 50th. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, people don't realize how much time and effort goes into these. Some people just are good at it, and one take, they're done, 5 minutes, gone. But I'm still working on something I've been working on for like 7 months. When it gets there, it'll be great, but I'll probably be dead and gone by the time it gets done. I just can't I don't have the time, dude. It's like, fuck. I don't know. But you guys just stay relevant. Keep doing your thing. Keep doing the singles. Keep doing your thing. You guys are in faces. You guys are in the minds. And like Steven said,
Steven the man. I was gonna say something about it.
The manager.
He's gonna be. He says you guys are gonna be huge. Have a feeling in his gut. I mean, when I first heard you and saw your photo shoots, I was like, "There's something gonna happen here." And then when Eddie Trunk kind of got up behind you and started mentioning you, I was like, "There it is. I said, you know, and
I think that our good friend Izzy Presley.
Izzy Presley.
Izzy Presley.
Izzy's the one that sent us up to Eddie and hooked us up. The man, the legend.
Izzy.
Thank you, brother.
Yes. He's a great dude.
Yeah.
Izzy's a great dude.
Izzy.
He's a character, but man, that dude is fantastic.
Definitely a character.
Yeah, one of a kind.
Aren't we all?
Unique.
So, I guess all we got now is, do you have any shows coming up? I know. Okay, wait a minute. Before that, what's been your most favorite show? Because you've done a few good ones in the last, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but your favorite show so far, what was it?
Talking for me, we played a couple of cool shows. We played Buck Cherry, Great Wine, a couple other cool openings, and Roxy Blue, and Enough, a couple of cool ones. But my favorite one actually was the last show we played in Nashville, headlining. But we played this cool club called the Eighth Room. Like the vibe was crazy, and it's a small room, but it was packed. And it was our first show in Nashville. So we had all of our friends, a producer came, and some people from the industry. It was a really, really good, like I'm rehearsing kind of deal, like playing with my friends. So it was a really, really good one. That was definitely my favorite.
That's my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, man, we're really, really comfortable, I mean, we play some cool ones at opening for bands that we love and listen to it all the time. But play home like that and have pack the room like we did
for us.
That's right.
Pack the room for us.
You know what I mean? People singing the songs that really jamming and really. It was like a Thursday night in Nashville, which is not people don't really come out to see a rock show, but so it was. Really. Yeah, it was really.
Gives it a goosebumps.
Yeah, man, it was awesome, man. The after party didn't hurt either.
After party. Now, wait a minute. You're only 20. There's no alcohol involved in this after parties, right? Don't need alcohol in the party.
You can party drinking,
Drinking Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. Great Kool-Aid. Or Grimace Shakes. The Grimace Shake is out right now. You have a Grimace Shake.
That's what I was drinking, man. I had
there you go.
6 of them.
Some friends, and it's a party time.
Yeah. Right. So, what shows you got coming up? Anything coming up down the pipe?
So I have a really good one, and it's we just got, and it's not anywhere yet. We still haven't posted. We still haven't talked about it. We just got the confirmation, but I'll tell about all the other ones. But August 11th, we'll be in Minnesota.
Minneapolis, yeah.
It's south of Minneapolis. It's in a casino called Mystic Lake Casino. But we're opening. We're direct support for Hailstorm.
Nice.
So
August 11th.
The one, and then the other one that we have that we're looking forward to that's coming up. We have a show August 27th. Is a festival in Texas called Tacos and Tequila Festival, and we're playing with Incubus, Third Eye Blind, Paris Jackson, and Bad Flower. Those are the ones I think are confirmed, and I mean that should be a good one too. But we have next Wednesday we're playing in Nashville at the Cobra with our friends from the Lonely Ones. It's a really cool band.
Good band there.
Hellbenders.
We're playing Hellbenders in Missouri on the 8th. We have a bunch of dates on our website, and then we're working on more. Always working on more, and try to be out there as much as we can.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going till the end of the year. We're doing a run in New York State. This is already kind of, happening. I just, have some stuff. So we have a bunch of cool shows coming up. If anybody wants to see, just go on our website.
Dude, the Hailstorm one. Holy shit.
Man, we just
kidding me?
Got the okay from the venue, and I got the okay to talk about it and everything. So we're going to, of course, announce properly and everything.
Right.
But man, I mean, it
should be good, man.
Yeah, it's all those.
And like you said, we're getting to that younger generation. You know what I mean?
Right. And the Hailstorm is still a very relevant band. She's so good, and she's popular. And you get hooked up with someone like that. I mean, that's You're on that bill. It'd be like back in the day when you wanted to be on the Motley bill or the Guns N' Roses bill or the Aussie bill. Metallica got on the Aussie bill and they exploded.
Yeah.
I mean, you.
Because
So
that
you want
exposure, that exposure is hard to get nowadays with
it
all
is
these million bands out there. So being in
right,
front of a band like that is really, really gonna help us. And it pushes to be a better band, make
right,
make sure everything's great, everything's perfect. So it
right.
really makes you a better band to be playing and around the really top bands.
Right. Absolutely. Now, do you got? I seen something. I think Jim Hamby was talking about James Stock.
Oh hell yeah. That's with 84 this weekend.
Yes, that's with
Yeah,
84.
we have a Lost Heart State at James Stock too, don't we?
Yeah, we do have a Lost Art State at James Stock as well. Let me look when that is exactly.
There it is. I'll read all the dates on the website, so make
Yes.
sure.
Right. I will post everything, all your information tomorrow in the thank you in the group, and I'll share it around Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and where you get to our website, so everybody will be able to get you that information. So it's one click away. You can find out where these guys are going to be because believe me, their calendar is just on fire right now. It's hard to keep up with what they got going on because they got so much going on.
Well, yeah.
That's what we're trying to figure out when James.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, the next one, so it's July 5th in Nashville, the Lonely Ones. July
Right.
8th, the Hellbenders in Missouri. July 21st, we're playing with the Atomic Punks in St. Louis. July 25th, we're playing with
Nice.
the Midnight Devils. I love that band, man.
Nice.
So much fun in Kentucky.
Cool.
Then we have the Festival with Incubus and
September 23rd.
September 23rd, James Stock. We'll be there, Lost Hearts.
And also
Nice.
Excitable Saturday night.
Yeah, this Saturday night. So if you're around, North Carolina, come watch us this weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing with the tributes. Just talk about we're doing tomorrow in Virginia Beach, and then we're doing James Stock Saturday, and then we're going to House of Blues, Myrtle Beach on Sunday.
Yep. Dude, I try to make that one, but
Come
my
on,
boss won't let me off.
You better come.
Oh my God, he won't let me off. And if I miss Monday, I don't get paid for Tuesday. I was in his office today going, hey, can I take Monday off? And then I'll come in Tuesday. I got somebody to work with me so that me and him will work. He goes, but the only thing is you'll get paid time and a half. I was like, I don't need it. Just he's like, I can't do that. Like, you got to be kidding me. He goes, why do you want off? I'm like, I got to go to Myrtle Beach. And he knows me so well. He goes, who's playing?
Yeah.
I'm like, Excitable and 84. I was like, dude, you got to. I said, come on, let's go. And he's like, I can't. I got to.
I'm gonna call.
We'll call him. Say, brother.
Call him up. 336-4811. Bam. Call him up. His name is Carl. Tell him, say, hey, Mike needs to go to this show.
Yeah.
I do.
I say, no, you didn't hear me. Mike's not going to be at work.
He's not gonna be.
Mike's not going to be at work.
I'm gonna do the bomb call.
Yeah.
I really don't care about the holiday. I don't give a shit. I'll throw that out the window. That's not what my life is about. I'm not all about money anymore. I like money,
Right.
but I'm more about making memories and going places and seeing bands and
Make a original rock band. You feel really good.
For real.
No. All right. So, like I said, I'll post all your links up tomorrow so everybody's got easy access to them. And thank you again for being here. It was great chatting with you. Nice meeting you, Max. Nice seeing you again, Victor. Just everybody, thanks for being here. Don't go anywhere because we're going to play Maybe I'd Want You, their latest release that was released June 16th. Maybe I'd Want You from Lost Hearts. We'll exit with that. So if you haven't heard it, you're going to hear it now. And like I said, I'll get all the information up on the web, in the group, all their links. So it's right there, easy to click to. Pick your show, pick your state, go. Right?
Hell yeah. We'll be
Thank you, brother.
Man.
Thank you for having us, man. It was a blast.
We'll be back
It was fun. You will be back. I know you'll be back. Pretty soon you're going to be way too busy for me. You're going to be like, I don't know who that guy is. Fuck that guy.
Never, man. Never.
Well, you guys take care. Have a great night. Thank you again.
Brother, see ya.
All right, man.
Later. All right. Latest song. It is Maybe I'd Want You by Lost Hearts. Tomorrow I'll put all the shit up click the links, check out where they're going, because like I said, these guys are getting dates added all the time. It's constant. So it's really cool what's happening with these guys. They're really hitting it. And you notice they're cool guys. I mean, just like they are now, they're out in person. They're just cool cats. I love Victor, one of my favorite human beings. JT's great. Max, I've heard nothing but great things about. Haven't met him in person yet, but just sitting here talking to him, great guy. But anyway, thank you everybody for being here. Next week, who do we have? We have Mickey Rat from As We Become Ghosts on Thursday, and then a special show on Saturday, July 8th at 3 o'clock p.m. We will have an RFK Live the Rock. They got an album out. It's a compilation album called Live the Rock. And there's many artists on this. I got a few lined up. I'm going to make that announcement Monday or Sunday on who's going to be. I already got them lined up. There's going to be Ron Keel. Okay, I'll just tell you now. Ron Keel is going to be part of it. Aaron Fisher, who's one of the managing partners at RFK Media, he's going to be part of it. Crashing Wayward, their lead singer, cannot remember the name off the top of my head. He's going to be part of this. Pamela Moore, you may remember her as Mary from Queensryche's Operation Mindcrime, Sweet Sister Mary. Pamela Moore will be on the show. She is fantastic. She's still out there. I loved her voice. Everybody loves her voice. You hear her, you're like, that's Mary. She's so good. She's going to be there. Maybe another artist coming on board. Not sure yet. Trying to get it all finalized. I'll get it all out there. But so many things coming up. Shannon Will coming up like 13th. I've got Midnight City coming up. It's coming. August is booking up too. So I got a lot of great artists coming to talk to you. So anyway, enough about me. Enough about it. Let's hear the song. This is called Maybe I'd Want You, the latest release from Lost Hearts. Y'all have a great night. See you next week.
But you know you can never win. You wanna taste the danger, baby, better lock your door, lock your door. Maybe if you were crazy, girl, or a little bro like your mother. Maybe if you got my name tattooed, or be my prima donna lover. Maybe I'm young, maybe I'm dumb, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'd want you. Maybe I want you. Maybe I want you. I was down for a little while till you showed your true colors and I figured you out. And I was sad for a little while. Sometimes I still miss hearing you fuck around. You keep trying to get me back, but I won't go. No, I'm on the right track. But then you get on top